What's up with y'all boys, man? You already know what time it is. You already know what time it is. As soon as I put that camera on me, you already know what time it is. There's not much, not really much I wanted to talk about, but obviously, I like to keep things on the God topic because this is the entire reason, I made this channel was to, continue to glorify God, and spread the gospel. But sometimes, it's really easy to, smile. It's easier to smile than to, try and think about reasons why you don't want to smile, It's really a way of saying don't let, your mind get in the way. And when I make these kind of videos, I talk about myself, I don't make these videos to be like, for you, I don't want to sit here and pinpoint and target y'all. I make these videos, mainly for myself to, I know I said a lot of times. It's because I'm trying to think. I mainly make these videos to learn off of this. This was, if I'm being honest, I mainly wasn't making my YouTube channel for me. This was mainly to, continue to spread the gospel and help people, man, honestly. I'm not going to say I always had this, kind of passion, but I always liked to help people. Like, I don't know what it was. With me, I didn't always like to help people, but like, I grew into it, later in life. Once I really started to grow more, like, not meaning maturity wise, but when I started to really understand not who I was, but more of where I am. I started understanding that, okay, I'm here, everything's real. And I got to that when I was around maybe, I'd say maybe 15, 16. No. When I was at least 13 or 14, 13 going up to 14, I was like, I kind of had this deep, I always have deep thoughts, but I really started to understand faster than usual. Like, most of my childhood, I was kind of, numb to some things because, I was a child. I didn't really know much. I didn't really care. I didn't have to care, I apologize. I'm not saying if I was still a child, I wouldn't care. I'm not saying, I'm growing up, but I wouldn't say I don't want to care, because it is good to care. And sometimes it might, seem like people don't care for you, but deep inside they do. It's just, you got, things, you got your mind too much on yourself. That's what I feel like it is with me and with us sometimes. We have our minds, stuck on us too much. Like, oh, I'm feeling bad. Oh, I don't have enough for this. Oh, I don't see the I, constant eyes. You're worrying too much about yourself, and that's how it leads you, into the spiral of depression. But it really got to that. I was at that point at a very early age. When I was, I think maybe 9, 10 years old, I was groomed, and I didn't really think of it as like something sad. Like, I kind of thought that was cool, and I don't know why I thought it was cool, but like, it wasn't just once, it happened a couple times, and then it went from, you know, me not saying anything about it to like me growing up and just like looking back at that to like just trying to see, I was trying to understand what was going on, like why. Like, I was trying to understand why, like, I ended up liking that. You know, I was too young to understand. I'm not gonna say to understand, but I mean, yeah, I was too young to understand that, you know, that was actually rape, you know, and it was, I just didn't think much of it. I was very young when it happened, and after that, it's not like it just happened once. It kept happening, and to where it was like normalized basically. And I have so many questions, you know, but it's a good thing. It's better to have more questions, because if we assume to say, you know, we have answers for the questions, then that's really, you know, a lie, because it's impossible for, you know, us to have the answers to everything, you know. But you know, it made me think heavily a lot about life, and it's been a long journey in it. Me being groomed really did, you know, up my sex drive growing up as a young kid. I was young and I was exposed to that at an early age. Um, from there, it became, you know, a thing where then I found out what, you know, Safari was. I found out what, you know, the hub was and all about that. And then from there, it was just like something that the hub wasn't something that I had, you know, in my mind all the time, but like I always had, you know, these fantasies, or like these, like my sexual drive would just go higher randomly, to where like, you know, I'd want to fornicate with women, and I was too young to understand that, you know, that really wasn't me, and, you know, putting those thoughts in my head. And, you know, yeah, just because stuff happened to me doesn't mean I have to carry it on, but I didn't understand, you know, how to deal with that. And my whole life I lived with that, and lived with depression my whole life, you know. But it was just, I don't know what it was. It was something that kind of took a toll on my life, a big toll. And obviously, I didn't really do too much about it, because I didn't really know what to do at the age, you know. I didn't really know what was wrong and right. But the most you could say is, you know, I'm a kid. I still had a lot of growing to do. I wanted to work, you know, to help my mom out and stuff. But I knew my mom didn't, I know she understood and really knew, you know, how much of a, you know, helping drive I had. I always wanted to help, but I couldn't, you know, just force myself to. Like growing up, helping was something that I'd like to do, but like I'd sometimes catch myself getting mad at helping people. It was only because like I didn't really understand what helping was. But I mean, I'm glad that I grew and stuff, but like it came to the age where like I started cutting in. I was maybe, I don't remember. I was like 16 or 17 when I started cutting first. But at first it was, I started smoking first, and it was because, you know, I couldn't find no other way to, you know, soothe being depressed sometimes. And it was either, you know, I went to either not drinking. I either went to smoking, or for me it was I either go smoke or talk about talk about it. And I never really talked about my issues and stuff. I always just eh. And then until one day I guess I started smoking, and when I did, it changed everything. Like from that day on, I never let it go. And I started when I was maybe like 15, 16. Smoked every day of my life. And as we speak, I think I smoked like last week, or like at least a week ago, if I'm being honest. And it's been with me since. Feel me?